Have you ever wondered about the health benefits of fasting? Join me as we uncover the true healing power of water fasting. 88% of Americans today have developed insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a chronic state of dysfunction and a major precursor to type 2 diabetes and other chronic diseases in which the cells in our body do not respond normally to insulin signaling. Glucose cannot enter the cells easily, instead causing levels to build up in the blood. This triggers the pancreas to produce even more insulin, which leads to the body storing more fat than it can effectively burn. This is why it is literally impossible to lose weight and burn stubborn fat on a ketogenic diet or any diet alone without the instrument of fasting. The latest science shows that a ketogenic diet alone will actually increase insulin's resistance over time and have a negative detrimental effect on our ability to mount a sufficient insulin response to a high carbohydrate meal. Only fasting can break the cycle of insulin resistance. In this modern age of conveniences, we are looking for any other way, method, or quick fix to burn fat other than the time-honored effective way, which is eating less calories than we burn and breaking the cycle of insulin resistance through fasting. Furthermore, fasting is the only way to burn visceral fat. Visceral fat is an especially dangerous form of fat which wraps in and around our vital organs and brain and is the precursor to cardiovascular, neurodegenerative, autoimmune diseases, diabetes, and cancer. Liposculpture can remove the surface fat but cannot remove the visceral fat. This is another reason why fasting is so vital for our health. Once we extend beyond the confines of 12 hours of fasting, the miracle of our body and brain begins its fine work of art. After 12 hours of fasting, our body flexes, adjusts, and adapts its metabolism from normal glucose metabolism to ketone metabolism. This is known as ketosis. Ketones reduce inflammation and temporarily halt the cycle of insulin resistance, giving our body a chance to breathe, rest, heal, and regenerate. Our body and brain becomes more selective and efficient in the limited resources available beyond 12 hours of fasting, switching to fat as the preferred source of fuel. Our brain begins releasing human growth hormone, or HGH, and brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Together, this dynamic duo of powerful neuromessengers is incredibly healthy for our brain and body, repairing our brain and soft tissues and forming new neural networks, which is called neurogenesis. At 18 hours, the miracle of autophagy commences. Autophagy is a wonderful process of rejuvenation. Our body becomes less wasteful as it begins recycling the healthiest resources within our body while cleaning up and eliminating old debris. It is this state of autophagy, beginning after 18 hours and increasing in intensity through the 2 to 5 day fasting mark, which holds the enormous power to cleanse and purify our body of dysfunctions, diseases, and a dependence on pharmaceutical drugs. It is truly empowering and hopeful to know that every hour we fast beyond 18 hours is preventing and reversing serious threats to our health and lives. This is the scientific truth which Western mainstream medicine and the pharmaceutical industry absolutely do not want you to know. After 18 hours of fasting, we have entered the state of catabolism, or breaking down, which is the true fasting or starving state. During the anabolic state of building up and growth, our brain responds to the abundance of carbohydrates and proteins by increasing the neural messengers mTOR and NADH, which feeds the energy production of the mitochondria in our cells called the Krebs cycle. But during catabolism, when our brain and body becomes highly efficient, selective, and refined in its use of limited resources, our brain releases the neural messengers AMP, which signals AMPK. AMPK is responsible for fat burning. Interestingly, exercise also increases the release of AMPK. AMPK is responsible for triggering the state of autophagy by turning off the growth signaling neuromessenger mTOR. With less resources available during the state of fasting, the growth signaling neurotransmitter NADH decreases, while NAD+ increases. NAD+ is a very potent signaling molecule, which has the miraculous power to activate certain genetic mechanisms called sirtuins. Sirtuins are our survival and longevity genes, responsible for prolonging our lives. This is where science and the miracle of God meet together. The latest science shows that NAD+, which is a holistic intravenous therapy I recommend in my videos, increases the length of the telomeres in our DNA strands. It is the length of our telomeres which determines the length of our lifespan. We can literally see our lifespan increasing with NAD+. This entire time, we have been searching the globe for the fabled fountain of youth, a priceless elixir which has eluded us for so long. Little did we know, it is found within our very own enormously powerful and transformative body and brain. NAD+ IVs are used for recovering drug, alcohol addicts because the science shows that NAD+ rebuilds new neural conductors, receptors, messengers, and pathways, such as dopamine. After 48 hours of fasting, our human growth hormone increases by 500%. BDNF, ketones, and autophagy increases in intensity and levels until they all reach maximum levels in effectiveness, somewhere between 2 to 5 days of fasting. Again, this process is quickened and synergistically enhanced with exercise. This is the stage where we truly see miracles take place. Misshapen, misfolded, and low-quality cellular components are removed at a very high and extremely efficient rate. Years of dangerous visceral fat and pharmaceutical drugs wash out like water flowing from the rivers. Major life-threatening diseases are entirely prevented, reversed, removed, and healed. Our body is finally able to perform its God-given mission of restoring perfect balance and health. We have done our part in getting out of the way and allowing our body to do what it knows best by sacrificing food. It is this sacrifice which holds the enormous power to save and prolong our lives, create the body of our dreams, and hand us back our power. After 72 hours of fasting, we experience a deeper, longer, and more intense state of autophagy. This is where cellular and mitochondrial regeneration takes place at a high level. Our body creates hematopoietic stem cell regeneration. Stem cells are origination cells, which hold the power to create new, young, vibrant, high-quality tissues, nerves, and neurology. Again, this is where God and science live harmoniously together and are not opposed. This is the proof of the existence of an intelligent, creative, and healing power of God working through our body and brain. White blood cells, which are immune cells, are increased as true healing takes place on a massive and systemic scale throughout every cell and mitochondria in our entire body and brain. Just allow the healing to take place. Allow our body and brain to go to work in performing our own miracle healing in real time and within the scope of hours or days of fasting. We harness the enormous power within us to create the body of our dreams, to look and feel amazing. Take off the heavy burden of dangerous surface and visceral layers of fat, prevent and reverse life-threatening diseases, and extend the quality and length of our lives so that we can live empowered, satisfying, and fulfilling lives. All we need to do is throw out the fears, myths, misconceptions, and peer pressure, which has imprisoned us in our current state of limiting beliefs and disempowerment. All we need to do is to simply stop the unhealthy behaviors, negative habits, and addictions which are blocking the healing light of God from shining into our body, mind, heart, and soul. All we need to do is stop constantly consuming without rest or reprieve and allow our miraculous body and brain to truly heal us from within. Water fasting does not cost a single penny unless it is an extended supervised water fast. The most powerful medicine on the planet is the act of letting go of our unhealthy behaviors. The most powerful medicine on the planet, more powerful than all the pharmaceutical drugs and surgeries combined, is water fasting. The most powerful medicine on the planet is the act of harnessing our courage, discipline, and determination to sacrifice the perpetual consumption of unhealthy foods. This is the real pathway to true healing, true freedom, and true empowerment. Most of us have read or heard the amazing and beautiful story of Jesus fasting and praying in the desert for 40 days. Now that we understand the science behind water fasting, we can clearly see why Jesus chose an extended fast to move closer to God. It is clear through the scriptures that Jesus also intended for us to fast. Shakyamuni Buddha fasted and meditated for 49 days around the vicinity of the Bodhi tree when he became enlightened. Paramahansa Yogananda, who introduced the science of yoga to America, or communion, communication, and union with God, recommended and engaged in regular fasting. During Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, Muslims fast every day from sunrise to sunset for an entire month. Fasting is practiced during Lent in Christianity, as well as Yom Kippur and other special events in Judaism. Many great saviors, saints, religions, and spiritual paths apply fasting as a crucial vehicle for purification, raising consciousness, realizing enlightenment, and receiving guidance and inspiration from God. We must cleanse ourselves of our impurities, negative habits, and addictions in order to receive the inspiration, guidance, and miracle healing of God. We must remove the impediments which are blocking this powerful light of God from shining into every cell of our body, mind, heart, and soul. It is in the true, pure, and cleansed state of fasting, whether it is intermittent or longer periods of fasting, where we can tap into the beauty, creativity, inspiration, healing light, and love of God, as well as the enormous powers inherent in our own body vessel. Purity, humility, and sacrifice are the keys to unlocking the gates of divinity. There is an undeniable innate wisdom, supreme intelligence, and godly mission inherent within every single cell of our body and brain. Holistic health and healthy behaviors, such as water fasting, recognize, honor, and support this beautiful and miraculous wisdom, intelligence, and supreme mandate we have been endowed and empowered with. It is time to tear down the walls of fear, disempowerment, and a dependence on an outside power. We have a vast natural pharmacy of the most powerful neurology, neurogenesis, angiogenesis, stem cells, immunity cells, and miraculous healing powers within our own body and brain, available at any time for absolutely free. Looking and feeling amazing, and freeing ourselves of the pain and suffering of obesity, dysfunction, and disease is our birthright. Every single one of us absolutely harnesses the power to determine, shape, heal, and become the ideal being we are truly meant to be in life. The greatest cheerleader and motivational coach to ever exist in the universe, God, absolutely wants more than anything in this world for us to realize our optimal vibrancy, vitality, and youthful vigor. Simply reach within and grasp it. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to watch the next videos.